Hello friends, it's Chromatic Sauce and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be watching the second installment of my potion bottle with the butterflies. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. I probably didn't say Chromatic Sauce. I'll edit that together. Okay, but yes, potion bottle with lines. Now, I don't know if you saw the first one where I just did potion bottle with lines, potion bottle with butterflies. In the first video of this one, I did the outlines of the potion bottle and most of the ribbon. And then, unfortunately, I didn't get the up close of the butterfly. This was like my second tattoo that I ever filmed. I said that in the first video. So yeah, I filmed that from far away. So I figured I would just put that, make a butterfly video of the next final installment of this tattoo. It'll be basically done by the end of this one, I believe. The next one, we're just doing white highlights, finishing it off. So you won't miss that much. This is kind of the end, but I always feel like white highlights will be satisfying. And that one's in 1x speed, so definitely check it out. Anyway, let's get started on this reaction. Like I said, you didn't miss it. We skipped the butterflies. The butterflies were not tattooed like on proper zoomed in camera, but you still got me finishing up the drawing on the top corner, and you'll see me start other processes. I'm not sure what's in that video, to be honest. I should have paid attention. I'm mostly looking at the main big video, and the second video is just secondary because I filmed other angles. Let me know if you like those angles. Let me know. Comment down below what you think of this video, if you have suggestions for editing, if you have any suggestions for flash, anything you'd like to see from me, anything you'd like to see me tattoo. But yeah, let's get into this video before I forget what a tattoo even is. Okay, I always do so much ointment. That's what I'm doing whenever I'm like wiping the tattoo like that. Just ointment. I think I might have finished the shading on the butterfly in her ditch just while I was doing it, just because that's a sore area. So I was like, let me just get this over with. What I did here, I always, like I say, usually I like to get black shading in first. I don't want the butterfly to be too dark. The darkness in the butterfly is like the edges, the monarch kind of butterfly. So we got dark edges, but then I do start the shading with black, stipple shaded. I want to sort of see the dots, so I'm not going for that saturated, like realistic look that I usually go for, where I'm going for like a super blended look, blurred look. Not necessarily going for that. I tend to go for that in general, but we're going for more of like, we can see the dots. So I go with straight up black, do like broad, like let the dots be pretty far apart, get a base color in, and then I think you'll see me once I finish shading the black here. I'm not sure when. I'm probably switching to a gray wash now as we speak. But I skip dark and I go straight to the medium gray wash. Oh, I usually use Empire gray wash set. Not because I think it's better or anything. It's just the only gray wash set I've ever bought. I used to make my own gray wash, but I really like the reliability and consistency. Like, not the viscosity, like that I can get consistent results with the Empire wash set. Like, I know my medium is medium, my dark is dark, my light is light. I know how they'll heal if I'm like, oh, I spit, if I put it in like saturated, you know what I mean? So I do the black dots and then I go in, I skip dark, I go straight to the medium wash. Just to blur it out and deepen it up a little bit. I still always am kind of going for that idea. I want to make sure it's going to heal good, but I don't want to only use white. I don't want to only use medium because it's going to heal and lighten up for sure. So I get it as dark as I need. I'm not afraid to like, I'm not doing like super soft brushing in necessarily. I'm definitely like letting it stipple the skin with medium, but I still have that dark base tone of the black stipples. So I don't know, that's just how I do it. I always tell people, if you think it heals a little bit light, let me know, like come on in for a touch-up. I don't frequently get like a ton of touch-ups for like my black and gray shading. So unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to see a lot of them fully healed. The ones that I do get chances to see, I typically like how it's turning out. But definitely, if you ever got a tattoo from me, definitely let me know if it healed different than you expect. I always say that. I always want to see how it healed. If you're unhappy with it, I want to try to help. I'm always like worried, apprehensive, like I want to make sure people like it. Like typical artist brain, we're our own worst critics, so I want to make sure you like it. So if there's something that feels weird about it, let me know. But yeah, I get the black and then I do medium. Whenever it's something like this, I'll frequently skip those dark tones just because I want it to be a little bit more of like step. It's a little bit more basic, a little bit less like fully blended in my brain. So like I said, I did the black and the medium wash for the butterfly wings. And then I'm doing the same thing for the ribbon. I'm going from the corners. The way I did it, I just crossed it. I didn't worry about making like a super realistic shape of a ribbon, like where you can see the edge. It's sort of like a drawing of a ribbon, right? So it's like an interpretation of a ribbon. So they kind of just crisscross loop at the edges. I get black in there because I don't want that to be too light. I want that to be pretty solid. So I always start at the point, make it real dark there. I want it to pop. I want that highlight in the middle to pop as much as possible, especially because we're not doing black shading in the background. So the only option I have to make the middle look light is this dark shading here. Like I could figure out a way to do shading in the background, but none of her other tattoos have a lot of shading in the background. So I don't know. I don't tend to love background things all the time. But with the highlight being skin to skin, like right next to each other, like I was saying, the only way to get that highlight effect is by getting black on these parts. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just repeating myself in different ways. But yeah, I just go around all the little crisscrossy places. And then you'll see, I'm sure soon, you'll see, I don't know. I always go over it. I think I'm doing the medium wash now. It's too far away. I'm not being afraid to go saturated with the medium wash. I want there to be like solid tones. I don't want the medium wash to fade into basically nothing. So I'm never afraid to go too saturated with those washes. I know the medium tone isn't going to be darker than medium. For most tattoos that are black and gray, you can pretty much assume that once it heals up, it'll lighten up a lot. But so like going around the butterfly and then like down further towards the potion bottle, I try to shade to the edge. The butterfly has that black edge, so I'm leaving like a little bit of a highlight there. I'm not coming from behind the butterfly. But you'll see once I go towards, I must still be doing black. Because did that have black? I'm losing it. I think I'm doing the gray because I'm going so far. She's adjusting. Yeah, maybe I am still doing the black. Dang. But you'll see as I go towards like the behind of the potion bottle, I try to make sure the potion bottle at least has some difference. I want the ribbon to fall behind the potion bottle. I want that to be front and center. So I'm not just going to leave it a highlighted ribbon behind the potion bottle. So I don't go in with black. I don't want it to be super dark. I want it to be consistent throughout the ribbon. So only with the folds get the black. And then I just do the medium wash behind the ribbon. I'm like skipping all ahead. This video is way too long. I talked way too fast about this. I guess I could talk about the top video. You see me still drawing it on. She was not afraid to be like vocal about like the shape. Like I said in the previous video, where you could see where I had drawn on the tattoo. I started with the yellow Sharpie and I sort of like looped that yellow Sharpie around the stencils. And she didn't like it. Well, she didn't not like it. She was like, how about if we bring it down here? And I was like, oh, that works. Yeah, super cute. So we drew it going a different direction. You can see that in the first video. But then there was also like I said, we were filling and flowing from like her existing tattoos. So she originally wanted to switch the potion bottle up a little bit, but I was like, let's see if we can draw on the ribbon to like fill that spot so it's not so like tight knit together, because I wanted the ribbon to be like flowing around her arm kind of thing. So she wasn't afraid. I sort of drew the loop a little bit different originally. She was like, can we tighten this up, like make the ribbon loop a little bit more narrow and like longer to fit into the gap a little bit more. So I wasn't afraid to wipe off the Sharpie and redraw it. So whenever you get tattooed by someone, don't be afraid to say what you want. If you don't like a design, don't get it tattooed on you forever. You know what I mean? Like, especially me, I'm always trying to be very vocal about like giving my clients an option. I'm always, even if you say do whatever you want, I'm still asking you, is this color okay? Would you prefer a greener tone or a bluer tone? Like, if there's an option, I'm probably going to give it to you. If it's better one way, I'm probably not going to give you the option. Oh, you can see the shading now. This better line up. Oh, I hope it's not too hard to line up. But yeah, you can see I shaded behind the potion bottle. But anyway, don't be afraid to advocate for yourself, because the tattoo artist only knows what you tell them. The tattoo artist is happy doing probably whatever they presented to you. So if you want your ribbon to be a little bit more narrow and fit into a shape, or if you want, I mean, don't be crazy nitpicky, but you can be, like, it's on your body. Like, you might annoy the tattoo artist a little bit if you're like really, really nitpicky, but I'm never annoyed. Some people get annoyed a little bit more easily. Some people even get annoyed from moving a stencil. I'll, like, if I think we shouldn't move it, I'll suggest and say why, but I'll usually move it and like show you if it doesn't work. I'm always I'm always open to moving the stencil back. Like, if you want to see it in another place, we can stencil another place if you want to try, like for smaller tattoos anyway. Not for a sleeve, it's gonna stay on the sleeve. But I'm never afraid to like sacrifice what I want a little bit more for the client, which may be to a fault. Like, I'm learning. This is a growing process, tattooing. But in terms of drawing and what you want on your body, like, if she didn't want that butterfly there, like, I'm sure she would have been like, hey, can we move it over here a little bit more? Like, don't be afraid. It's not on my body forever. It's on your body forever. Do things how you want it. Okay, so let's go back to talking about the tattoo. For the butterflies, I know I kind of missed it. I wasn't looking. Oh wait, no, I didn't miss it. I'm losing it. So for the butterflies, I just shaded those with my 5-round liner. I did the outline with a bug pin 5-round liner for the butterflies, and then I just filled it in. I didn't want it to be too dark. I didn't want to use a round shader. I didn't want to put like too much pigment in the skin while still like getting the black in there. So I had the machine slow. I basically stipple shaded it to be black, as solid as I could. And I told her, come back if you need a touch up. Like, if those heal a little bit light, we can darken them up. But I'd rather that than like fully blow it out first shot. That's the goal, like I usually say. And then, because this design is a little bit less, I don't know what I'm saying. I wanted some darkness in the tattoo. I wanted the depth of the darkness in the potion bottle to match the butterflies. I wanted the highlights in the potion bottle to really pop as much as possible. So, like I was saying, the only way you can do that is with solid black. So, a lot of times, it depends on what I'm doing. A lot of times I will just use stipple shading for the black. Like, those flowers I did, like on, what's it called? The fine line poppy flower that I did. Or like the fine line swan tattoo. A lot of the fine line tattoos, I don't always use a mag. I frequently will just use the stipple shaded with the black and just make sure I'm building it up. But sometimes you want a little bit more of a solid black. Sometimes I want to make sure we get that saturation. And especially with this, where we want that sort of high shine effect, if we can get it, that's what I'm going for. Something a little bit more shiny. And this is a little bit more broken down. I'm not doing the full range of color blends. It's a little bit simpler, a little bit more straightforward. So I really, for this one especially, I wanted to make sure the black was solid. So I used a mag. I think I just used a Bug Pen 9 round liner, which is like small. I don't know. I just play it by ear depending on the size of it. So it's nothing to that. And then I got all my edges that I wanted to be black. I think I might have missed a spot. You might see me going back and forth between dark and black because sometimes I get ahead of myself. I think for this one, I accidentally went in with the dark shading first, and then I was like, I probably want a middle tone of the black stipple shading coming off of that solid black. So that way, all the blends look consistent. Because, like I usually say, the black is the only shade that's going to show up true to tone. So I don't want them to have just like the dark sections and then all light stipple sections. Like I wanted the black to have some stipple sections in the blend, if that makes sense. So I might have gone in with the dark gray first, but then I quickly was like, no, I want the dark. I went in and I stippled in with the black. And I think I just used a Bug Pen 5 round liner. I don't remember. I probably said that at the beginning of the video. I think I just used a Bug Pen 5 round liner. I'm not being afraid to go right up against that shine with the black. I want to give it a solid edge. Like you'll see me like reinforcing the edge of the highlight. I usually would want the black or like the darkest dark to be fully saturated up to the outside of the highlight anytime I do a potion bottle. At least like this anyway. Maybe I tend to mix it up a little bit sometimes. I frequently will do like the shine around the side. I kind of do the potion bottles a particular way. But I'll try to get the black or very, very dark right up to the side shine. And then depending on the shine, this one, it's not perfectly symmetrical. So I kind of brought the dark to the outside of the shine and I blended it, but I made sure that the edge of that highlight was dark and saturated and smooth. So hopefully we can get a pretty good brush off of there, but then the shine still looks shiny. My throat is like raw, like rude, man. I'm like struggling. But yeah, so I always make sure I get the depth of those gray tones, especially for this one with the shine. Like we're holding a shape with these gray tones. We need that to be solid. It can't be very light and then fade to nothing. And you'll see like as I progress how I do, like it better be in the footage. It might not be in the footage. I think my camera might have timed out, so you might not even get to see it. I'll just explain what I did and you can see it all in the last video if it doesn't come up. I worked my way through the gray tones for the potion in the bottle, but then for the highlight on the top, I feel like I do something a little different every time. Since I have that like decorative piece on the top by the cap coming with black on the tips, does that make sense? Does this make sense? Since I have that, I didn't want it to be dark coming from underneath it, if that makes sense. Try to show you. The tips are black, so I didn't want it to be black here on the opposite side, and then the edges wouldn't be distinct. That's how my brain thinks about it. So I let that be dark, and then I let it shade from black to dark to just skin. I don't think I did any other tones on that. I did more tones in the potion itself than the decorative like metal parts of the potion bottle. And then the glass underneath where it has that shine at the top, I just used my light. I think I just used light wash. I think I might have used medium a little bit to get a little bit of shape, to get a little bit more depth, but then I just tried to get saturated with the light wash more than anything. I think I did use medium a little bit just to give it a little bit of depth. And then you know that's going to heal up lighter than the darkness that has the black, that has the dark wash. Excuse me. Nothing else on the whole tattoo has medium as the darkest tone of the shading. So this should hopefully appear transparent and still shiny. You know, it still has that part that's a skin break where it's solidly colored around it. So that's kind of what I was going for. I don't know. You see, I missed the ribbon on the bottle, like the neck of the bottle there. So I just shaded it a little bit. Trying to keep my edges, blend everything. And then like something like this simplified a little bit. Sometimes I tend to like overwork it, overblend it not in terms of damaging the skin, but in terms of like not everything has to be so blended to be buttery soft. Like there's a look of tattoos where you can do the whole stipple shading with just black, and you can get your light washes on top of it. You just have to do it in a different style. Like instead of getting saturated dots around that like circle, you would have extremely sparse dots. You probably wouldn't get a very distinct circle if you did it like that, but it just depends on how you decide to tattoo it. So I wanted sort of a happy medium where you can sort of see the dots. It's a little bit more of that like raw, broken down, like darker dots instead of fully blended between each tone. So I try to keep it a little bit bolder like that. I tend to fall into my own habits, but that's why my clients go to me. They see my work and they know what it's going to look like. So this is typically how I do a lot of stipple shading. And it depends on how strict you are with how you want it to be true to the reference photo or like the style that you want, or if you're really open to just however I'm wanting to shade it and how I usually like to shade it. But I think that's all I got of the shading of this one, because like I said, I think it timed out on me. But here, I'll add this little clip at the end. You can see at the top that that I got that gray wash to be pretty solid on the top. So that's what I always go for. And definitely come back. Let me pause this. Definitely stay tuned if you want to see the tattoo completely finished with white highlights. That'll be in the next video. You can also check out my Instagram. It'll probably be posted. We'll see if I add this one as a portfolio piece on my website. If not, check out other stuff on my website. Check out my portfolio. I would really appreciate it. It's all linked down below. Comment down below what you thought of this tattoo. Would you get something like this? If you want to criticize, only constructive criticism welcome. Nothing rude. Like I said in the last video, I think. Maybe it was this video. I filmed these videos the same day, so I'm just confused. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I love ya. See you in the next one. Bye! My throat.